Welcome back to r/relationship advice, where OP's insane boyfriend runs away with their newborn son in the middle of the night. If you want to know what happened exactly, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, My 26 female boyfriend, 27 male, ran off in the middle of the night with our newborn son, 2 weeks male. First time posting here, as title says we have a newborn son who is 2 weeks old, to recap the period leading up to this event. We had the baby on a Thursday and came home on Saturday, roses, everything was absolutely beautiful, our relationship had never ever been stronger and we were so happy. More in love with each other and with the little one than we thought possible. On Sunday we decided to pop a bottle of champagne. I have one glass and he continues saying, "We can get drunk now." I obviously did not want to get drunk, but did not discourage him since we had not drank in months. We used to drink together nightly. Which, by the way guys, does not seem like the best relationship habit if you ask me. Anyway, he ended up quite belligerent by the end of the night and it resulted in tears on my end since he was acting out of character. The next morning he sincerely apologized and said that if he ever got drunk like that again, he would stop drinking. That evening rolls around and we have a glass of wine with dinner. I did not want another, but he continued to finish the bottle and another. Drunk again, more tears. I explained to him, while he was drunk, the conversation we had the night prior about him not doing this, and he broke down and came to bed and promised not to do it again. After a week of being home, my mother begins to travel to us, we live in CO, she lives in NY, to visit us for 2 weeks to help get settled with the baby. This visit has been planned for 4 months and was not a surprise. In the 2 days she is traveling, my boyfriend begins to transition from happy new father to protective new father. It is a difference, but he's very confident in his new role and feels that his life has changed and he is very happy. My mother arrives at 8 AM on a Monday and proceeds to say hi to us, although quite exhausted, and goes to sit on our porch to decompress after 48 hours of travel. My boyfriend comes to me and says that she was disrespectful when she arrived. I question him and say, I'm pretty sure she's just tired, let's let her rest and then we can all have a conversation about boundaries and more once she's rested. He agreed and moved on with the morning. I did not think anything else of it. At around 9:30 AM, 90 minutes after her arrival, she passes him in the kitchen and he raises his voice and exclaims to her about how she will not be disrespectful of him in his house. And more. I begin to bawl and beg him to stop. My mother, completely taken aback, goes outside crying. My boyfriend is livid, I can see it in his eyes. I try to calm him down and go to check on my mother, who I then try to calm down. He comes outside and asks to speak to her and I leave them alone. Hindsight, should not have done this, and after about 1 minute, my mom comes back inside yelling and crying, I am done, and tells me she's going to go back home. I try to speak to both of them, but I cannot stop crying. Had a baby 10 days ago at this point. My mother packs up to leave and does. My boyfriend thinks he has done the right thing and protected his family unit. I am devastated that my mom is gone, as I wanted her help and guidance with the newborn. He is confident in his decision. In the next 2 days, this confidence does not wane, and he says he had to hurt me in this situation to maintain his family. We went to bed around 11, we had argued some earlier in the evening, but when bedtime rolled around we were actually on good terms and I went to sleep pretty hard because of that. I wake up to a stranger shouting my name and I look over and the baby is not in his bed. I run out and a policeman is inside, the shower is running, the door is open, the policeman informs me that my boyfriend took the baby and ran out of our apartment building and to a house up the street and rang their doorbell. The officer asked me to come with him and he took me to the house where my boyfriend went. There were many officers outside asking me questions about different things. The consensus was that my boyfriend thought someone was going to kill him, so he took the baby and ran. And guys, indeed, that sounds like the boyfriend had a few bottles of wine too many. Anyway, the officers took me inside the house, gave me the baby and then let me know that they were taking my boyfriend to the hospital for an evaluation. The officers took me to a hotel for safety. The hospital ruled the case a mental break and that he was fine. He seemed fine when I picked him up and we went home. As the day went on, he got more and more paranoid, so I called the police when he went to work. He insisted that I had bugged the apartment, that the neighbors were in on it, and that my mom called our pediatrician and more. The police suggested for us to separate for the evening, and he stayed home and the baby and I are in a hotel again. What should I do now? He is continually paranoid now. I have a baby to protect. I don't feel like he's being rational in our home. Please help. Thank you for reading this. ETA, overwhelming response. I did not expect this. The baby and I are safe. I called his mother, who is now traveling, to come get him. I called my sister, who is planning to come now once he is gone from the house, so she and I can go back together. Thank you all. This has been the worst week after the best week and I am exhausted. I turned to Reddit to rationalize what I was thinking, since I don't have people to talk to outside of the situation. Thank you for the responses. Updating here 2 months later, baby and I are safe and boyfriend has been getting help at his mom's. I went to my mom's, I've been communicating with his mom and he seems to be improving from her perspective. Thank you all again for the messages and the comments. It helped to have outside perspective when I was overwhelmed. I'm much better now than I was then. And indeed, a user in the comments suggested he should be mentally evaluated, may have some type of mental disorder which untreated could get worse. I don't want to defend the guy, but this is so weird and extreme and his actions are so off, he does not seem there. Mostly at that age, mental health stuff really starts to become apparent. And I gotta say guys, I have a lot of empathy for this poor woman who gave birth just 10 days ago and now has to deal with this craziness. But then again, I am glad that it all kind of worked out in the end. And by the way guys, if you're not subscribed already, I would be really happy if you could subscribe to the channel to join our awesome community. Thank you so much in advance, and while you're at it, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments to support the channel. Thank you so much, and now let's move on to the next story. And the next one is titled, "My wife gave birth to a black baby that clearly is not mine and I am divorcing her. But I am worried about the relationship between my 2 kids and their new half-sister." A month ago, my wife gave birth to a black baby girl. We are both white, so she was forced to admit that the child was a result of a one-night stand last year. I have started divorce proceedings, although we are still living together for now. Between our 2 boys, aged 2 and 4, I've had paternity tests for them and they came back positive. Her infant daughter and her, having lost her job due to the virus, living together as amicably as possible until the divorce is settled is an unfortunate necessity. Naturally, I have no ill will towards the baby, and I've been disgusted by some of the comments I've heard from family members, friends, co-workers and others, all who seem to be fixated on the racial angle of this. As if the most salient part of this is not that my wife cheated, but that she cheated with a black man and that the baby is black. What really worries me is that my 2 sons might pick up on these narratives. They are too young to really understand what is happening now, but I'm worried as they grow to understand the situation that they might grow to resent their half-sister for breaking up their parents' marriage. And worse, that their resentment might express itself in a racist fashion under the influence of the aforementioned racist narratives. Any thoughts on how I should try to influence my sons away from that perspective? It probably doesn't help that we live in a suburb with very few black people and their half-sister is really the only black person my children know. And a person in the comments said, "I will tell you what my dad did and you can use the info as you will. He invited my little brother, who was not his child, along with me to stay during the weekend. My brother was not the product of infidelity or anything, he's just my half-brother, my stepdad's son. But I didn't know for a while, because my dad brought him along to the museums and the water parks and the movies, etc. Pretty much any time I was at his place, my little brother was too, and he never complained. He loved my brother, so that is an option. You can have the baby come with your sons occasionally, make sure they are treating her okay, and be an example for his to treat their sister." Let us know what you think about this in the comments. Update to the cheating wife story. The big takeaway for me was that if I'd need to lead by example here, not excluding her in any way because of her paternity, so that she and my sons would see her as a full member of the family. Also, that I need to be more active in confronting the bigoted and ignorant nonsense I've been hearing and teach my sons to do the same to protect their sister. I have spoken to some of those responsible since and made clear my feelings on this, and that she is to be treated as a member family, and that if I ever find out that they have said things like that to my sons or their sister, that they won't be allowed around us anymore. I've spoken to my wife about this, and we are more or less on the same page. She's been begging me to forgive her and not go through with the divorce, but that is not going to happen. Even if I did not consider the cheating unforgivable, I just don't feel any love for her anymore other than a platonic affection for her as the mother of my children. My sons are handling this as well as can be expected. The 4-year-old does not fully understand but is upset by the change in the household. Thankfully, he is easily distracted. The 2-year-old is thankfully too young to comprehend what is going on, but has definitely picked up on how withdrawn his mother has become. They are both fascinated with their new little sister, so there is that silver lining. My wife, OTOH, which I'm not sure what it means, is not in good shape at all. She was depressed even before the birth, and now with everything, our divorce, her infidelity being revealed, and the backlash from family and friends, PPD, and the exhaustion from raising an infant, she is barely functional. She is seeing a therapist, and I've been presuming some of our family and friends to be supportive of her, because even if they think she deserves it, her current state is making it harder for me and our children. It's become very obvious to me that even after the divorce is finalized, we are going to have to live together for a while longer. She is in no shape to be taking care of 3 kids without someone else around to support her, and I'm not willing to deprive her of her sons by seeking sole custody. It is also too difficult financially since she has lost her job because of the virus. As for the baby girl, she is healthy and fairly easy by baby standards. Since I've been taking care of her, I've bonded with her, and I've discussed the possibility of adopting her with my wife. She cannot contact the father, as the only thing she knows about him is his first name. And given our co-parenting situation, it feels like adopting her as my daughter would be the best outcome for all involved. However, there's been a wrench thrown in that plan. It was brought to my attention that there may be a way of finding the baby's father, namely by having her DNA tested by Ancestry DNA. If the father or one of his relatives has also taken the test, we may be able to find him through their DNA match database. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not happy about this. I've already started to think of the baby girl as my daughter, and having him in our lives would massively complicate the family dynamic. Plus, we live in Seattle and she met him in Philadelphia, so God knows how they'd even make it work if he wanted to be the kid's father. However, I recognize that this is a selfish reaction. If we have a chance of finding her biological father, we owe it to her to do so, if only so that she has access to her paternal medical history and so that she can have a relationship with him if and when she chooses to do so. I've read a few accounts by children raised by non-biological parents, and a common thread is their desire to meet their lost biological parent, so that is that. We've ordered an Ancestry DNA kit for her, and I guess we will decide our next steps once we get the results back in a couple of months. And guys, I'm not exactly sure if this is true, but I think I've heard that there was a huge security data breach in one of these testing DNA companies. Honestly, I would not share my DNA with some company. How do you feel about all of this? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is titled, "My boyfriend's friends called me a butterface and my boyfriend co-signed." I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. I thought he was attracted to me, all of me. He's never called me ugly and always compliments me with or without makeup. Last night he brought his friends over. I am cool with them, but we are not that close, so usually when they do come over to play video games and smoke, I go upstairs. That night, when I was walking past the room to the bathroom, I could hear my name. The door was closed, but I stopped to listen. I know eavesdropping is wrong, but come on, they said my name. I heard one of my boyfriend's friends say that they hate that I always leave when they come because I wear shorts and tank top around the house and usually dress more conservatively when I am around them in social settings. He went on to say that I have a fat ass and nice boobs, but I am a butterface without makeup. If you don't know, it is when a girl has a nice body, but her face. And my boyfriend laughed loudly. He did not even defend me. His reply, "Her body's perfect." What? They moved on to a different topic and started talking about other girls, so I gave up on listening and went back upstairs. I don't think I am ugly, but I did cry. I'm ashamed to say my self-esteem took a hit, but it did. It hurt worse to know that my boyfriend left and did not defend my looks. I won't lie and say I'm the best supermodel, but I'm not ugly. I have shoulder-length brown hair, clear skin, features are decent. Maybe my eyebrows could be less sparse and I wear glasses, but I would give myself a solid 6 out of 10 without makeup and maybe an 8 with. Maybe I'm just delusional. I felt sick sleeping next to my boyfriend and would not let him touch me. He is attracted to my body and not my face, and I hate myself low-key. I am 22, he is 25. And a user in the comments said, honestly friend, I think you will have a hard time moving past this. I think even when you doll up and look your best, you will wonder if he even thinks you look pretty, and it will rob you of your self-esteem. That comment will be an intrusive thought that pops up for the rest of your relationship. You deserve a man who thinks you are a 10 even when you feel like a 6 or an 8. And another person said, and that's the thing, there are probably lots of guys out there who are just as nice and cool as your boyfriend and who will love your body just as much, but who will also think your face is pretty and who doesn't laugh when his friends talk crap about you. He is not abusive, that is great, but you're still allowed to decide you want more from a partner than what he is giving you. Guys, I gotta say, in this situation I would definitely not stay together with that guy. Someone who is so willingly or unwillingly able to destroy your self-esteem and does not even really think about it is not a good person for you in a relationship. You know, some people are just insensitive in regards to that, but honestly, you don't really have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this is not right. If you guys were together with this person, what would you do? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is an update to the story from before. I was not expecting to get so many replies. I read every single one and I want to thank you all. Breaking up was not even a thought on my mind, but seeing men saying they would not allow their friends to say that and women saying they would not tolerate that helped me be more confident in bringing it up to my boyfriend because I wasn't planning on it. Last night I sat him down and I told him that I overheard his conversation with his friends and how what they said was really hurtful, and it stung worse that he did not defend me and just laughed. At first he denied it ever happened and I got upset and almost cried because I felt so frustrated. Then he admitted it and said it was just a dumb joke and he forgot about it 5 minutes later. Then he said that his friends' opinions would not matter so much to me if I didn't care about their thoughts on my physical appearance. I said I don't care what they think, it is the fact that they said it and you sat there and laughed. He said that he finds me attractive, if that is what I want to hear so badly, and that if my friend said he was a butterface he would not care because he's not attracted to them, and since I care I must have some sort of attraction to his friends. I got up and said that we are done. How is he gonna flip this one on me and make it seem like I want to be with his friends because their comment upset me? His reaction is what upset me. He said that if I am breaking up with him because his friends think I am unattractive, then I am doing him the biggest favor of his life. So we are over. I am moving in with my sister in her spare guest room. I am so heartbroken. His reaction was not what I thought it was going to be. I don't want to end things with him thinking I like his friends, but I guess it is what it is. I am moving on. He doesn't care about me and I wasted 2 years over him. It is whatever, I'm not interested in dating now, but there's more fish in the sea. Absolutely guys, amen, but I'm curious, have you ever been in a relationship where your significant other hurt your self-esteem with comments like the one mentioned in the story? How did you deal with this? Let us know in the comments. You know guys, I gotta say, personally, I don't really care what people say about me in terms of appearance or pretty much everything else, to be honest with you. However, when someone I really care about makes really negative remarks about me, that definitely hurts. And the last one is titled, My wife stopped taking her birth control without informing me. My wife and I have been married almost 9 months. We tied the knot last December. We came into the relationship both wanting children, however we had mutually discussed and agreed to wait until we owned a home, I finished school and we had our finances in order, more to start trying. The entirety of our relationship she's been on the pill as her preferred method of birth control. My wife is out having dinner with her parents tonight, while I am hanging out at the house with some friends. She had ordered groceries to be delivered earlier today, and when they arrived I of course started to put things away. One of the items she purchased was a pregnancy test, which was such a shock that I literally felt my stomach drop when I saw it. Immediately I called her and asked why on earth she ordered a pregnancy test. Turns out about a month ago she decided to stop taking her pill because she thought we were ready for children. I asked why she wouldn't get my input on something so huge, and she replied that she wanted to surprise me. I told her that there's literally 100 different surprises that I would prefer currently, and I told her that I would see her later and ended the call. Her period is due later this week, so unless she plans on taking it early, we won't know if she's pregnant for a few days. I am livid, we are not in the position to become parents currently. I certainly don't want to be bringing a newborn into the world during a pandemic. I don't know if it is justified considering we are married and both eventually want children, but I feel absolutely betrayed that she would make a decision like this behind my back. We had even agreed that if somehow we got pregnant while she was on the pill, that we would not go through with the pregnancy. I know she will be coming home soon, and honestly I don't even want to look at her right now or know what to say. Am I right to be upset about this? What should I do? I am currently working a full-time job while pursuing my masters. I literally don't have the time to be a suitable parent. Edit, she just texted me,
I'm so sorry that you are reacting this way. You've seemed really unhappy lately and I thought you would consider this good news.
And a person in the comments said, OP, she may be a bad apologizer, but that pales in comparison to what she just did. What she did requires action, counseling for the two of you. I mean, you cannot trust her going forward. She does not think she did anything wrong, so she's going to need to hear it in many different ways. Show her info online about that term. Reproductive coercion. Hell, show her these comments as so many are rightfully calling her out. To her, you are wrong and she's right, and it is hard to believe that a grown adult can be that far off the beaten path. What she did and her reaction is a huge red flag, and red flags of that level cannot just be ignored. Well, they can, but it will come home to roost at some point in time if you give it short shrift. And obviously guys, this situation is probably one of the most effed up things I've read about in a while on Reddit. If your girlfriend would surprise you with something like this, what would you do? Let us know in the comments. This is heavy, I gotta say. Update to the pregnancy surprise story. I never expected the amount of replies I ended up receiving on my post, nor did I even realize the gravity of my wife's betrayal. At the time of posting, I had a lot of people comment or reach out asking for an update, so here it goes. I had made the decision that until we knew if she was pregnant or not, that I just wanted some distance to think/cool down from my initial anger and shock. I told the wife this and spent a few days over at a buddy's house trying to process everything. Ironically, my wife's birthday fell within the days I was not home, so she's been extremely pissed at me too. She ended up informing me this morning that she got her period and asked if that means I am coming home now. I am still feeling extremely betrayed by her, and although we did dodge the bullet this time around, I have so little trust in my wife now that I don't know if our relationship will be salvageable. I'd rather be a young divorcee than feel like I need to keep my condoms in a lockbox or something to prevent my own spouse from tampering with them. I'm not 100% sure if therapy would even be worth considering. She is still infallible in her own mind, but I guess if she sees the light and genuinely apologizes soon, I would be willing to pursue it just because I do love her. As far as I am concerned, the ball is in her court, and if she wants to try and make this right, it is going to take some actions on her part that show she is truly sorry and willing to earn my trust back. I'm not sure that even if she does make the effort that our relationship is repairable at this point, but maybe after some extensive couples therapy, we can figure out exactly where our relationship went wrong, where she thought that behavior would be acceptable. And guys, unfortunately, we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested, and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.